Good morning, and welcome to the Convocation ceremony that will ring in the 100th anniversary of Grand Rapids Community College. We would like to invite Professor Kevin Dobrik to lead us in the singing of the national anthem. We ask that you all rise, and gentlemen, to remove your caps.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you, Kevin. Fellow colleagues, it is my pleasure to serve alongside Steve Abed in the role and responsibilities of Master and Mistress of Ceremonies at this memorable start to our 100th anniversary celebration. I'm a faculty member in the biological sciences, and I am responsible for teaching honors biology and general biology survey.
Good morning. Thank you, Lori. I am Steve Abed from the Social Sciences Department, where I teach economics. I am honored to serve in the role of Master of Ceremonies along with Lori Foster. We hope to get this 100-year celebration off to a grand start with today's festivities, as befitting an institution with the word grand in the name. Before getting too far along, I would like to ask you to please join us in a moment of silence as we reflect on the past members of our institution no longer with us, and all of those who have contributed to the rich history of GRCC. Thank you. At this time, we would like to take the time to recognize some of our important guests. Please stand and be recognized when I say your name. First, our Board of Trustees. Chair, Mr. Bert Blakey. Vice Chair, Mr. Richard Verberg. Treasurer, Ms. Ellen James. Secretary, Ms. Margot Anderson, joining us today on her 73rd birthday. And trustees, Ms. Deb Bailey, Dr. Richard Reiskamp, and Dr. Richard Stewart. We also have with us today some of our past leaders. Again, please rise to be recognized. Past presidents, Dr. Pat Pulliam, Dr. Juan Olivares, and of course, our current president, Dr. Steve Ender. Thank you for being here today. We are happy that some of our highest academic leaders and former provosts are able to join us as well. Dr. Corky Arengard, Dr. Don Boyer, Dr. Hilda Hele. And our current interim provost, Ms. Patty Tripkowski. Thank you all for joining us, and nice job with the mace, Patty. We invited our former GRCC Board of Trustees, and we have here today Ms. Terry Hanlon and Ms. Jan Magini. Thank you both for celebrating with us, and Jan, a personal thank you for all your efforts on the 100th anniversary team, especially this one. We invited our neighbor and partner higher education institutions to send a representative to the convocation, and we are pleased that several were able to be here today. Please join me in welcoming from Ferris State University, Dr. David Eisler. From Grand Valley State University, Assistant Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Maria Cimatelli. From the Van Andel Institute Graduate School, we are pleased to welcome Dr. Stephen Triesenberg. And from Aquinas College, once again, Dr. Juan Oliveras. Thank you again. I would also like to acknowledge our GRCC Foundation board members present today, Mr. Dave Custer, Mr. Derek Rummel, and Mr. Mike Dupree. Now, as they say, on with the festivities. I am pleased to introduce our first speaker, a Richmond, Virginia native. Steve Ender holds a bachelor's degree in business management from Virginia Commonwealth University, master's and doctoral degrees in education from the University of Georgia, and he has completed postdoctoral studies at the Snowmass Institute in Snowmass, Colorado, and Harvard University. During his more than 30 years in higher education, Dr. Ender has held numerous teaching, counseling, and administrative positions. His former position prior to coming here was president of Westmoreland Community College. Among his honors and achievements, Dr. Ender was named to the National Advisory Board for Helping Teens Succeed, a college transition program, and received the Pennsylvania Association for Developmental Educators Award for Research and Publication, and the Award of Excellence from the Manchester Craftsmen's Guild of Pittsburgh. As a young man, he achieved Eagle Scout status. Quite an accomplishment. In Grand Rapids, Dr. Ender serves on several boards, including the Spectrum Health System Board, the YMCA Corporate Board, the Right Place Economic Development Board, and the West Michigan Center for Arts and Technology Board of Directors. At the state level, Dr. Ender is actively involved in the Michigan Community College Association, serving on the strategic planning and legislative committees. And of course, in May 2009, Dr. Steve Ender joined us here when he became the 9th president of Grand Rapids Community College. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our first keynote speaker this morning, Grand Rapids Community College's 9th president, Dr. Stephen C. Ender.
Thank you and good morning. I don't know about all of you here today and what you're thinking, but I must say that to be part of the group that is associated with the college today, 2014, that gets to share in the glory and the history of this phenomenal institution is something that humbles me, and I would assume most of us in the room. And even though this is a somber and special occasion, you're going to have to indulge me. I mean, we're 100 years old. We're going to sing happy birthday before we get too long into this program. And we're going to sing happy birthday to Grand Rapids Community College, not GRCC. Victoria, are you in the room? Where is my lead singer? There we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Grand Rapids Community College. Woo! Happy birthday to you, and many more. I love that part. The award-winning American author Madeleine L'Engle wrote, "The great thing about getting older is that you don't lose all the other ages that you've been." I believe this is true for both individuals and institutions. We are a great institution today because of all of the faculty, staff, and administrators who've come before us, and we do stand on their shoulders. Celebrating a milestone event almost inherently results in individuals and institutions adopting historical perspective in their work. Over the next 12 months, we will have many opportunities to reflect upon and honor the work of the last 100 years. But this morning, I would like to frame my remarks around our most recent history and our future. By all accounts, 2013-14 was a remarkable year for Grand Rapids Community College. After a thorough review of seemingly countless materials we provided, and after a comprehensive 3-day site visit this past April, a team of reviewers from the Higher Learning Commission wrote an impressive report in praise of our institution, the quality of our work, and the dedication and professionalism of our faculty, staff, and administrators. The team determined that GRCC provides evidence that it meets all the criteria for accreditation, identified no issues that required follow-up from us, and offered this overall assessment. Two major factors which contribute to the effective operation of an organization are the structures adopted and the quality of the people involved in those structures. Grand Rapids can look with pride at how well its teams operate and the achievements those teams are generating. The college is fully committed to continued improvement, and its people are making that happen in an exemplary fashion. I believe we should all take great pride in the role of our individual day-to-day work as it impacts the success and vitality of our students and our institution. I congratulate you all for this wonderful recognition by the visiting team, and I offer a special and heartfelt thank you to former Provost Hilda Haley. I know unequivocally that her 7 years of academic and student affairs executive leadership positioned our college to receive this outstanding appraisal from the review team. The team's report now becomes part of GRCC's case for reaccreditation, the result of which we expect to know in the spring of 2015. Join me in thanking Provost Healy. With the ratification of our faculty contract in March of 2013, all of us at GRCC conduct our day-to-day work from the perspective of an individual performance plan linked to the college's strategic plan and then to our compensation packages. Now, I know this cultural shift has not come about without some degree of concern and consternation. However, I believe that this is an institutional accomplishment in which we should all take great pride and satisfaction. That we have performance systems across all of our work groups says a lot about who we are as an institution and what we believe in. It says that accountability and personal ownership are not structures that intimidate us. It says that we believe in stretching ourselves to be the very best that we can be. It says that we believe the sum is greater than the parts and that we all work in our respective areas to advance the ends and strategic plan of our great institution. It says that we honor the academy and the privilege of recognition as we advance through the academic ranks, a hallmark of higher education and an indication of the excellence of our faculty. This distinguished college deserves no less. Our students deserve no less. I am extremely proud of this transformation within our college culture. We are also transforming our culture as we bring 52 new tenure-track faculty positions into our organization. You know, this means that 25% of all of our full-time teaching faculty positions will be filled by newcomers to the tenure track. What an achievement and what an opportunity for this great institution. We are a student success-driven college, and I appeal to all of us to share and model this institutional value with our new faculty colleagues. They represent the future of Grand Rapids Community College. As we think about this infusion of new faculty, we are also searching for our next provost and vice president for academic and student affairs. A faculty-led search committee co-chaired by Jennifer Batten, Department Head of Physical Sciences, and Nikki Banks, Department Head of Criminal Justice, was convened late last spring to bring the process and consultants from to begin the process, and consultants from the Academic Governing Board have assisted the team this summer to develop a position description and profile, and they have launched our national search. It is my hope that the committee will begin to review candidate files soon with the goal of selecting a new provost by the middle of fall term. If the right person is not in this pool, we will extend the search. Ideally, someone would come on board by winter semester, but we are fortunate to have wise and capable leadership from Interim Provost Patty Trepkowski, and a July 2015 start is not out of the question. When you see Patty, please thank her for her important service during this time of transition. The leadership of our Thank you. The leadership of our campus also was enhanced this summer with the naming of Mr. David Anderson to become our new Chief Technology Officer. I was delighted to make this appointment. David has been a strong member of the IT team for years and had provided excellent leadership in the 6-month period following Kevin O'Hala's sad passing. David is widely respected across our campus and within the IT department. He is uniquely qualified to lead our IT team, and we are fortunate to have him in this new role. Please congratulate David when you see him. David? You know, literally hundreds of campus and community members have worked this past year to develop, refine, and implement our Centennial Year agenda of programs, activities. Starting with today's convocation and concluding in May with commencement at Van Andel Arena, we will have many occasions to celebrate our legacy and pay tribute to those who created that legacy. There will be a community picnic, a visit by former President Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind, the gala event, and a musical written by members of the GRCC family and performed by students and staff, to name just a few of the highlights of our year-long celebration. A celebration which allows us to shine a bright spotlight on our college and to strengthen our reputation within the higher education community. We must and will continue to highlight our excellence, our affordability, and our student success-oriented approach. We are a first-choice institution, and more of our community members need to be informed of our unique ability to offer the first 2 years of a university-level education with a community college philosophy of individual attention and support. Inextricably woven into GRCC's legacy of excellence is its legacy of service, not only to students, but to the community. It is only fitting then that our tradition of service is also woven into our 100th year celebration. Our foundation, led by Don McKenzie, is striving to raise $1 million in student scholarships before the college's anniversary gala on October the 14th. As of today, we are with $250,000 of reaching this ambitious goal. Also, to commemorate our centennial, GRCC's faculty and staff have devised 100 ways to give back to our community. Throughout the coming year, activities will take place to collect donations of items and to provide hours of service that are much needed by various community members and organizations. Beyond hosting accreditation visits, implementing new evaluation systems, hiring new faculty and staff, and planning the centennial celebration, other important initiatives have come to a conclusion this past year, or they will soon come to a conclusion. These initiatives are significant as we consider the future of our institution, and they include the work of the strategic leadership team, the academic program reviews, the budget review implementation team, and our ongoing facilities renovation. The strategic leadership team has been instrumental in monitoring the success of the 2011 through 2014 GRCC strategic plan. This past year, this work culminated in significant positive changes among 22 of the 27 independent indicators we use to judge our success as compared to both national and state benchmarks. The fact that we have seen significant improvements on over 80% of our indicators is strong evidence of the quality of the work we do and our collective impact on students' success. Further evidence of our quality and impact can be found in our ongoing academic program reviews. This past year, our academic departments completed year 3 of an ongoing 4-year cycle. External accreditation, state and national benchmarking, and internal reviews all support one conclusion. GRCC is an exemplary institution of higher learning. However, even the most exemplary institutions face daunting challenges. In our case, our enrollments have, in recent years, been declining dramatically, resulting in budgetary challenges that must be addressed, given that 57% of our revenues now come from tuition and fees. Over the past 3 years, the budget review implementation team has studied many aspects of the financial state of all of our instructional and non-instructional programs. Because enrollments continue to decline and because we face potential budget shortfalls in 2015-16 of between $2 and $5 million, the findings of this team will be considered by and incorporated into the work of an ad hoc budget committee commissioned this past summer. This new team, comprised of faculty, staff, and administrators, will bring both revenue enhancement and budget reduction recommendations to me and the leadership team prior to our December holiday shutdown. This work will be transparent, inclusive, data-driven, and difficult. The recommendations and subsequent budget decisions will be shared with the campus community early in the winter term. I appeal to all of us to work with this campus group if they need additional information from our areas, departments, or programs. Another challenge we have all faced over recent years, and perhaps most significantly this past year, has been our facilities renovation. As we engage with our students in our next 100 years, we must provide facilities that are safe, comfortable, and designed to facilitate teaching and learning. We have made tremendous strides to update and renovate our physical plant, and more are planned. The efforts of our maintenance facilities and IT staffs over the past months have been Herculean, and as has been the patience and good humor of all of the rest of the faculty and staff who have had to temporarily move or be otherwise inconvenienced. Everyone involved or impacted by these renovations and dislocations has my sincerest appreciation. The resilience and adaptability of GRCC faculty, staff, and administrators in the face of continued change continues to inspire and amaze me, and it gives me great hope for the future of this remarkable institution. Higher education is constantly evolving, but we know that evolution and progress are not always the same thing. Student choices for higher education opportunities and skill development are expanding rapidly. We are experiencing an explosion of post-secondary education providers and modes of delivery. We are also witnessing significant pressure from traditional providers as we all recruit a dwindling number of high school graduates. Right now, I would imagine that some in this audience are wondering why the content of this speech has evolved from achievements to challenges, why the tone has shifted a bit from one of triumph to one of struggle. It is because in order to evolve and progress, we must not, in the words of noted evolutionary biologist and MacArthur Fellow Stephen Jay Gould, be tempted to equate transient domination with either intrinsic superiority or prospects for an extended survival. If our colleagues of the past 100 years, whom we honored earlier, had ignored their challenges, we would not be here today. For the sake of our colleagues of the next 100 years, we cannot ignore our challenges either. When Professor Abid invited me to deliver this convocation address, he requested that I focus some of my remarks on my vision for GRCC. I will honestly say that I'm not sure that the vision for GRCC or for higher education in general has changed that dramatically over the years. We are here first and foremost to foster the success of our students and the greater good of our society. I am not sure that GRCC's first president, Jesse Buttrick Davis, felt differently. And I'm not sure that whoever delivers this same speech, this same address, in whatever format it takes 100 years from now, will feel differently. The future of our institution depends on all of us focusing our time and energy daily on students and their success. They are the center of the universe of our work. And daily decision-making should zero in on the fundamental question, what is best for the student? The college's new strategic plan, formulated by the 70-plus member of our strategic leadership team, working in conjunction with the rest of the campus, the local community, and our Board of Trustees, targets the institution's work more strongly than ever on the student. The new ends are simple and they're direct. We will focus on student success, workforce pathways, and transfer pathways. These ends require us individually and collectively to devote our time, energy, and resources to these priorities above all others. Not only do I believe that the vision of student success does, or at least should, unite all of higher education, but I also believe that the means and methods we use to best serve students are what are constantly changing over time. And I will share how I believe they may evolve at GRCC for the betterment of our students for today and for the future. My comments will center on three main areas: recruitment, teaching, and support, all with the goal of helping students to persist in and complete their studies. To hold and expand our market share, we must be in the recruitment business as a college and across all of our educational programs. I believe we must reach out in all ways possible, electronic and human, to ensure that new students have a great experience with admissions, financial aid, orientation, and student enrollment. A successful start is essential to student matriculation and success. All elements of our system must be seamless and transparent. Roadblocks must be removed. All students must be embraced. It is the work of all of us. As we move into our future, I believe all of our academic departments must consider their role in the student recruitment process. Outreach to develop relationships with high school principals, faculty, and counselors must extend beyond the work of our admissions staff. Bringing high school students to our campus to meet faculty, explore program offerings, and visit our labs will only enhance our recruitment and matriculation processes. I believe that we must strengthen and scale our approaches with students in the high schools across our service region. Dual enrollment, early college, and fast track and on-track programs have proven to be quite successful in our work thus far. An expansion of all of these programs must be a priority in our work going forward. In the 5 years that I have been at GRCC, we have significantly expanded our course offerings through both online and hybrid approaches. I believe in the future we must do even more. The Higher Learning Commission has authorized our institution to offer up to 20% of our programs in an online environment. I am hopeful that many departments will consider developing their programs for this delivery mode. The core of our work, however, is what we offer to our students when they are here. Teaching and learning, quality, rigor, and supportive relationships are vital in any learning experience. Teachers must use all means at their disposal: creativity, experiential activities, and technology, to name a few, to engage and motivate students. New methods and modalities must continue to be explored by faculty and supported by administration. I believe a key component of great teaching is advising. Early in my career, I spent considerable time researching, thinking, and writing in the area of academic advising for college students. I am convinced that the relationship between a student and his or her academic advisor can be quite powerful and impactful in regards to student persistence, graduation, and transfer. At GRCC, we must expand our thinking and practice in this arena. My vision for the future disaggregates our students from the perspective of their advising needs. Academic faculty working in workforce development programs that lead immediately to a career would be providing academic advising for students enrolled in those programs. Arts and sciences faculty would focus their advising efforts with students enrolled in Associate Arts and Sciences transfer programs. Counselors would focus their advising work on undecided and developmental students. As those students declare majors and move off the developmental track, they would then move to departmental faculty. These steps would allow all of us to use our advising and counseling expertise with those students who most closely match our skills in the advising arena. I believe the role of faculty at GRCC will continue to change over the next several years. Our tenured and tenure-track faculty will become involved in areas of student recruitment, student advising, mentoring of adjuncts, developing and revising curriculum, determining and developing performance measures for all students in multiple sections of a course, filling administrative positions on an acting or interim basis as needs arise and faculty show interest, and teaching students at times perhaps more conducive to the students' lives rather than our own. We all must continue to put the students' needs for support at the center of our daily work. And this most certainly also applies to administration and staff. If we are to remain competitive and thrive as an educational provider, we must adapt and change not only how we do our business, but when we conduct that work. Student support services must be provided in ways and at times that go beyond the traditional 8 to 5 day. Many of our most important services, including dean's offices, financial aid, admissions, counseling and advising, tutorial labs, and others, must expand their accessibility to students, both literatively and figuratively. This may mean staggered and shifting schedules for administrators and staff. This may also mean expanded electronic resources for our students. A service must be based on accommodating the needs of students. Refining an institutional vision by examining the means and methods by which it is carried out is especially difficult in the ever-evolving field of higher education. I am completely confident in predicting that we can expect change in our future, but I am also equally as confident in predicting GRCC's ability to adapt to change and to grow even stronger in its commitment to inspire students to meet the needs of the community and of the world. As we do today, I believe that our colleagues in 2114, 2115 will look back with pride on the legacy that all of us have created and with a hope for a remarkable future. As we do here today in Fountain Street Church, they will sit somewhere and they will appreciate the role they have played in history, institutionally and individually. Like us, they will reflect on the individuals whose lives they've guided, molded, and mentored. Today, I hope that you all feel a profound sense of pride and satisfaction in the vocation you have chosen. I want to leave you with a quote from American poet and novelist Marge Percy. "Never doubt that you can change history. You already have." Thank you.
Thank you for your poignant update on our institution, Dr. Ender. Thank Thank you for giving us a glimpse of your vision and for providing us with a spirit of leadership to guide our efforts as we enter into this next century. It is my honor now to introduce Dr. Hilda Healy, who received her bachelor's degree in radio, TV, and Spanish at Kansas State University. Her master's degree is from Middlebury with a Spanish concentration, and she earned her PhD in Spanish at the University of Illinois. Dr. Healy is an academic leader with broad experience in private and public institutions in Puerto Rico and Michigan. She began her career on her island homeland, first as a teacher, then as a director of languages, advancing to a vice chancellor and interim dean before coming to GRCC, where she has served our institution as provost and executive vice president for academic and student affairs for the past 7 years. She is now the provost at our sister institution, Aquinas College. Her list of accolades are many. A few include these. She has received the Distinguished Woman in Higher Education Leadership Award by the Michigan ACE Network. She served as president of the evaluating teams for the Puerto Rican Council on Higher Education. She received the award of Commitment to Excellence in Education at the Academia Bautista de Puerto Nuevo, best I can. Clearly, Dr. Hilda Healy provides a shining example of effort, dedication, and commitment to achievement in all she does. Please join me in welcoming her to share her thoughts on celebrating our past. Dr. Healy?
When we remember, we call to mind. When we record, we stir the heart. Good morning. President Zender, Olivares, podium, trustees, invited guests, faculty, and staff. A centennial, especially of a college, is a celebration of minds and hearts. To reminisce, to remember, goes to the root of our minds, or mens in Latin. To remember is to pass through the mind again. The word remember in my native Spanish, however, is recordar, which comes from the Latin cordis, or heart, the metaphoric seat of memory. As in the phrase to learn by heart, to record is really to pass through your heart again. To remember, to record. Our centennial provides us opportunities to pass through our minds and hearts. One more, the many stories that make up the history of Grand Rapids Community College. And who tells the story of a people, of a city, of a college? Homer, before retelling the adventures of Odysseus, would ask for inspiration from the muses, and from one in particular, Mnemosyne, so that he would tell the story of the Odyssey with precision, passion, and poetry. Speak, memory, speak, immortal one, and tell the tale one more in our time. Homer, one storyteller, invites the muse Mnemosyne to speak through him, to use him as a fiat, a vehicle, once again, to help him to remember and tell the epic of the people that once recorded would become one of the foundational pillars in literature. How many storytellers to tell the epic history of a college? How many muses invoked in the recounting of the many adventures experienced by the community of Grand Rapids in the course of 100 years? What is the story that each one of you tell about the college? How rich indeed is the history possessed by those present here today. And as we sit in this sacred space, with its own unique and towering place in the history of this city and pass through our hearts and minds again those colleagues who once sat with us and now are gone. Do you recall their stories? A story you shared with them? A connection that you have with them because of your time at the college? Have you told that story? Has that story been recorded? As we contemplate this morning our own personal connections to those who worked and studied here, and their connections to previous generations who lived and moved through the streets and the buildings, so many muses, we are moved to a spirit of gratitude. And gratitude is the memory of the heart. We are grateful to celebrate GRCC Centennial, to look through the timelines, grateful to see the photographs, to get a sense of days gone by, grateful to comprehend what advances and steps were made along the way to develop programs and services, to understand the evolution of buildings and structures that make up campuses. We are grateful for the opportunity to gather more stories. We understand how hearts and minds are deeply moved through listening to the humanity of diverse voices. This language we speak, our unique timbre and cadence, the phrases that we use, our laugh, our accents, identifies each one of us. Future generations, because of audio and video technologies, will have perhaps a greater connection with us because of the stories of GRCC that we tell today. So I invite you to record, to remember with the heart, your unique story about this college, and hereby contribute to this precious historical legacy. Through storytelling, we preserve our identities as individuals and institutions. A convocation is a calling together, a joining of voices of faculty at the start of the academic year. This Centennial Convocation is inviting voices beyond the college to the broader community, beyond the here and now to those individuals who once shared this breath of life, and those yet to come, students and staff who will come together to learn and work during the next century. Ours today is a convocation to remember and record, to honor the school's history, to preserve it for posterity. In writing the college's official history to record a century of service of Grand Rapids, Professor Walter Lockwood interviewed present and past teachers and administrators to capture what they remember as significant moments for the college. Would Professor Lockwood please stand to be recognized? You have to get this book, because his work joins together many voices from this institution's past, voices of triumph and tribulations, voices of advocacy and support, voices of innovation and risk, voices of courage. These voices who have guided our individual and collective past, they all join our convocation here today. Our Clio, the muse of history, our Erato, the muse of poetry. As faculty, think of the individual lives you have touched through teaching, counseling, and support. Wonder at the seeds you have planted in young hearts and minds. Ponder how generations of students have stories they tell about how you made a difference, how you inspired a life-changing career decision. Marvel at how awesome and humbling, and maybe even scary it must be to have your voice linger in the memory of a former GRCC student. As you do for others, as others have done for you, you honor this powerful vocation. You honor the legacy of this institution's founders. You honor your voice and your unique role as faculty. And what lingers in the memory isn't just words of our faculty, but also our actions. They create lasting images that become carved on our memories. As teachers, we become creative to help students understand and remember. The voices of our mentors and guides, our muses, become voices from the past, encouraging our steps today, reminding us that sometimes we must leap. We must find new ways. We must take risks. Indeed, trailblazing is part of this college's DNA. So many voices, voices of healing. During the First Great War, the need for nurses moved the junior college to work with local hospitals to provide training. This college has a long history of excellence in the preparation of nursing students. After the Second Great War, enrollments climbed. More faculty were hired, and they began to voice the need for greater participation in the decision-making of the college. Voices of concern. In the 1960s, staff wondered if vocational training might challenge the school's academic tradition. Liberal arts faculty would raise the same concern amid celebration of the new MTech Center in 2002, when occupational training students more than doubled the number of liberal arts transfer students. A voice of protest. A language arts teacher painted an orange stripe the length of a corridor in protest of the deadening sameness of the building's beige color scheme. A coordinator for the arts drew large audiences to the Ford Fieldhouse to see celebrities as part of a fundraising lecture series called the Great American Talk Festival, celebrating the diversity, the richness, the greatness of talented voices. Voices for others. Through the years, faculty advocated for students in many ways, creating a Women's Resource Center, a Council for Minority Concerns, a Student Life Board. By 2006, the result of several years of focused college-wide efforts, GRCC became the first college in the state to win the Michigan Quality Leadership Award, Voices of Celebration. A coming together of voices through the century. And as we consider the tremendous legacy we share as faculty and members of the GRCC community, as we reflect on so many voices through the years, as we remember the anecdotes, the record of so many achievements, we ask ourselves, how can we honor this history? The muses were capturing Greek architecture in mosaics. The word museum means shrine to the muses. And while we may not use mosaics in contemporary campus architecture, we do have museums and libraries, and we do pay tribute to distinguished faculty, as well as benefactors in the naming of the halls. At the University of Illinois, where I studied, students and visitors often stop to take pictures at a statue entitled Alma Mater. They're snapped into a comforting sense of history when they read this inscription. To die happy, children of the future, those of the past, send greetings. Inscription on fountains, names on buildings. As we walk through our downtown campus, we move in the presence of the past. The role of faculty looking at the next century is to ask the hard questions. What questions are we willing to ask each other to improve teaching and learning? What actions are we willing to take to better serve Grand Rapids and Kent County? Do we have so much invested in the way things are that silence and inaction seem like the better course? What do these voices of history say to you today? How are these muses passing through your minds and hearts again? Your stories, our story, the history of GRCC continues. There is so much more to record. So today, the convocation of faculty and community, privileged to draw breath and experience this milestone in the life of this institution. Grand Rapids Community College, in this sacred space, we say to the voices of the past who join us, thank you, bless you, peace to you. And to the voices of today here present, it was a privilege and an honor to serve with you as your provost. Memories of the work will pass through my mind, but those of the people will pass again and again through my heart. And to the voices of GRCC's future, who will walk and work and study and sing, we present you a legacy of achievement. Continue building and adding to this school's tradition in service to this wonderful city. Here's to the next century. May it be filled with voices of courage, conviction, and much celebration. Thank you.
Thank you to Dr. Healy for proving that the past does indeed guide our future, and for us to be mindful of listening to those voices of the past. They truly are a part of who we are today. We thank you for your insights and past leadership, and that will continue to influence our endeavors, I am quite certain, for the professoriate as we strive toward academic excellence at Grand Rapids Community College. So now we're going to transition and move on to our academic awards. The purpose of the Emeritus Faculty Award is to recognize and confer emeritus status to a retired faculty member. The criteria for the award include having taught 7 years or more at GRCC, having been recognized by colleagues as an outstanding instructor, having brought distinction to his or her field through activities both inside and outside the classroom, and having served as a role model to aspiring instructors. At our 2014 commencement, this honor was bestowed to our colleague, Professor Paul Chardouel. We'd like to ask now that all emeritus faculty members that are in attendance today, please rise and let us give our thanks to you. Our second award is the Excellence in Education Award that was established in 1989 to honor an individual Grand Rapids Community College employee for his or her contributions to the college, higher education, and the community. Nominees are evaluated by a selection committee based on how well they exemplify our core values. These include excellence, diversity, responsiveness, innovation, accountability, sustainability, and respect. Last year, the past recipients of this award had a chance to gather, of which I'm included in that group, and had a wonderful opportunity to discuss and to think about our work and what drives us each and every day to aspire to continue this career. In doing so, it brought such great pride to hear of the commitment to teaching and amazing endeavors that take place every day at our institution by faculty. I am so proud of this award and what it represents, and I am eager to see this honor bestowed upon one of our colleagues here today.
I cannot put into words what it meant to receive the Excellence in Education Award back in 2010. To this day, I am still humbled, honored, and overwhelmed that I was presented with that distinction. It is fitting, as we celebrate our history, that we have a number of our retired past recipients of the Excellence in Education Award here today. We ask all that are in attendance to please stand so that we can acknowledge them one more time, having received this award. For a complete list of all of the award winners, please refer to your program. Now we have reached the moment to learn of our newest honorees. At this time, I would like to invite President Ender back to the podium to lead us in recognizing the Excellence in Education recipients for the 2014-15 year.
This year's Excellence in Education Faculty Award recipient exemplifies the college values by being excellence. Few instructors embody the passion that drives this professor. From the moment this professor introduces themselves, and I'm just not going to give you any tips here as we work through this. On the first day of class, students know this is a professor who is truly excited to share their knowledge, their kindness, and their sense of wonder. This is a professor that puts extra time into planning their lectures and always comes to class prepared with answers to student questions from the previous lecture. While most professors want students to do well in their class, this professor wants more. They want students to learn. Diversity. While teaching students course material, this professor makes them feel valued and respected. This professor's excitement and profound, well-rounded knowledge inspires students' desire to learn more about each topic. This professor supports a classroom in which every question is welcome to ensure each student feels comfortable and course material is fully understood. This professor understands that our students have complex lives that often interfere with their best plans. This professor values our students' potential and sees that with an occasional bit of extra support, students can achieve their highest levels of success. Responsiveness. This professor exemplifies the characteristics of responsiveness because they do more than just anticipate the needs of their students. They know them before the students do. Above and beyond is nothing out of the ordinary for this profoundly gifted professor. This professor will come in early and stay much later than class is actually scheduled to give students every opportunity to succeed. This professor has been known to come in on days off if it will help accommodate a student with a scheduling conflict. Innovation. This professor uses examples that are theoretical but practical. Lectures include YouTube technology, activities, and different websites that are available for students to practice the skills that are learned in class. This professor doesn't rely on these outside sources to teach students the material. Rather, they offer them to students to use as tools to better understand the lesson. This professor's ability to innovate unique examples is just as effective as their ability to create challenging problems that relate to their teachings. There are times when students are expected to read the text and complete the challenging problems at the end of the chapter. This professor always provides time in class dedicated to solving problems on the board to assist students with the most difficult problems. Accountability. This professor demonstrates a true sense of accountability, holding themselves not only to their personal standards, but to those of the college as well. They are always stepping up to substitute teach at the last minute because they realize that GRCC has a duty to provide the education for which students have paid. This professor was a key part of the first assessing the students' ability to write for their discipline's purposes, then implementing changes in teaching methods and assignments, and finally measuring the improvement in student writing. Their ideas and dedication to the project were a key factor in both the project's success and the measurable improvement in student writing. Sustainability. Not only is this professor sustainable with resources provided by the college, but they also understand the economic difficulties of our students. This professor requires that students only buy the necessary classroom materials. Rather than requiring a subscription to an online homework site, this professor created their own homework sets and utilizes problems given in the textbook. Everybody's trying to guess now. Their professor instills in students the cost of both classroom materials and equipment, and encourage students not to be wasteful and to recycle whenever possible. This professor is concerned about the environment and has often worked with students on independent study projects that have an environmental aspect. Respect. It's hard to imagine a more respectful professor. There have been times when students have brought up inflammatory topics and opinions, but never once did this professor give an indication that those opinions weren't valid or deserving of discussion. This professor respects their students and colleagues in that they are always willing to help them out. This professor is always willing to volunteer for new initiatives and gives 100%. They respect their colleagues' time by completing their portion of the project in a timely manner and with exceptional quality. Integrity. This professor displays integrity by acting on the values that are important to them, such as community service. In addition to being a faculty member who offers students the opportunity to serve in the community through academic service learning, this professor also seeks out partnerships in the community so that students can bring education to children and teens who do not always have their educational needs met. This professor treats each and every student fairly. They stand by their syllabus and ensure that students read and fully understand the expectations and what they should expect from the professor. Some of the letters of support for this exemplary individual included the following comments. This instructor truly possesses all of the qualities that colleagues strive for and students seek in an outstanding professor. A genuinely courteous and considerate professor who is constantly looking for ways to help those around them achieve excellence, academically or otherwise. One of the most dedicated educators that I know, committed to the education and well-being of all of our students. This professor continually works to encourage their students' success, support their colleagues in their work, and reach out to the community. It is now my pleasure to name this year's Excellence in Education Faculty Award recipient, Chemistry Professor Tom Niels. Tom? We have some people here to see you, Tom. It's all yours.
Thank you. I guess if I'm able to do my job well, it's because I get to work with all of you here at the college, and because I have the love and support of my family and a lot of patience on their part, too. Thank you.
And these are for you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Oh, sorry, just to let you know who's up here, this is my dad, who's an engineer, and my mom, who's an elementary school teacher, which is why I teach science, I think, when you put them together. And then my son Matthew, and my daughter Ruth, and my wife Stephanie, who's also a chemistry teacher, and she gives me all my good ideas.
Thank you. Thanks.
Now our 2014 Staff Award. This year's Excellence in Education Staff Award winner exemplifies the Raider values by being excellence. With over 30 years of higher education experience, this person possesses an excellent understanding of their area of expertise. The professionalism and thoroughness that this person gives to each student and staff member creates a feeling of confidence of a job well done. Diversity. This person has a long track record of sensitivity to and mindfulness of diversity and multiculturalism, treating others with respect and interest regardless of demographical characteristics. Responsiveness. With over 3 decades of experience, this person is able to anticipate a student's need and respectively delves beneath surface questions to address the heart of the student's concern. There has never been a time when which this person has not come through quickly to effectively meet the needs and answer questions or even track down the necessary information in order to respond to a student need. Innovation. In the world of higher education, federal guidelines are continually changing. Often these changes increase administrative burden and increase student confusion. This person sees this as a challenge and creates solutions for students by thinking outside the box to accommodate their needs with accomplishing the tasks set before them. Accountability. This person understands the need to follow federal, state, and institutional guidelines, along with the importance of making sure students understand as well. With a sense of humor and energy, you do not hesitate to exert your authority and make sure students understand the predicament they've gotten themselves into, along with presenting a solution. Sustainability. This person makes it a point to work hard to educate students that might have unusual circumstances or crises which could cause them to either drop out or lose their eligibility. You ensure we aren't burning through the college's most valuable resources, the students themselves. Respectfulness. Known as the go-to person of the department, there is not any situation or crisis you're not able to take on and deal with while showing tremendous dignity, compassion, and humor to all of those involved. Integrity. You take pride and personal responsibility in your work. It is not only a profession but a passion, acting as a mentor, teacher, motivator, and inspiration to those around you. Some of the letters of support for this exemplary Raider included the following statements. Reviews student information without judgment, exudes an aura of excellence in the work, consistently goes the extra mile, sees it as a personal duty to pay it forward. It is now my pleasure to name this year's Excellence in Education Staff Award winner, Mary Kay Bethune. Mary Kay. do that. We're fine. We're good. Don't worry about it. No. Don't worry about it. You see some of that energy at play here, I believe. Okay, Mary Kay.
I'm not even put together.
I know, but you held the stage.
Oh my gosh. I just love our students. I call them my little cherubs. Because everybody deserves the opportunity to have an education, and it's so important. My mother's 99, and from the time I was a little child, she said that you need an education, Mary Kay, because you need it always in your lifetime. And my best friend Christine and I went to school together since we were 5 years old. And we had a pistol at the time. I wasn't always the best student, she was. However, we did accomplish many things, and although I don't have the highest of educations, serving students at multiple institutions has been a true honor for me, and I love to help students go from nothing to accomplishing first-generation graduation, contacting me after they go to a graduate program, and yesterday a young lady I met when she was 18 years old in the hospital, and she came to my former institution, called me, and she said, Mary Kay, I just got promoted again, thanks to you. So you all know those students who call you and say thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just want that to continue for all of you, because it has been a huge, huge story in my life. And I love all of you and our counselors and our staff and GRCC and all of the colleagues I've served at so many years at all the colleges I've worked at. Thank you so much. This is truly a wonderful honor.
Okay, you want to introduce your family?
Oh my gosh, my lovely family. My husband, Craig, who does many of the same things I do in our community. He's a physician serving a huge population of Medicaid patients who are frail and elderly. My beautiful and only wonderful child, Corinne, who had a baby 5 days ago, bless her heart. Her fabulous husband, John, and my first grandbaby, Lydia Marie. My dearest friend, Christine, who we have been truly best friends for a lot of years. I think this is year, help me, 62 years. Oh, I know we don't look at, sorry. Her wonderful daughter, Angela, my dearest friend, Diana Lobostal, Christine's husband, Russ. They have been lifelong friends. Thank you all so very much.
That doesn't put a smile on our face, nothing will, right? Congratulations to our winners, both Tom Niles and Mary Kay. We just are so very happy for both of you, and very deserved. At this time, I would like to thank both Dr. Ender and Dr. Helle for their insights and inspiration as we begin our new academic year. This event would not be complete without the help of our music department colleagues, Kevin Dobreff and Mike Gillian and his ensemble. Thank you very much for your help today. Actually, there are so many committees and subcommittees and sub-subcommittees who work diligently to make an event, as you can imagine, come off like it did today. And there are many other things this year to come. So those committees are continuing throughout the year, and with their efforts, we really do want to recognize at this time as well. Thank you. Well, we have quite a year ahead of us, and Dr. Ender did share a little bit of those, but I want to reiterate a few just to keep them fresh in your mind and on your radar. Here are a few. In September, we're going to have a community picnic, and it will be a wonderful occasion to be out to celebrate with old friends, new and old, and opportunities for children to enjoy in things. There will be lots of alumni booths for people coming back who want to see the campus and see your faces as well. So that'll be in September. In October, we have a gala, and that will serve as our key scholarship fundraiser for the year. You will want to attend if you have an opportunity. It's going to be quite a splash. In November, you're hopefully not going to miss the play called The Open Door. It will take us on a blast through the past, laced with music and humor and the history of our college. There is a perfect way to capture our story in the college book that was mentioned earlier. It was worked on by retired Professor Walt Lockwood, who is joining us today, as you know, and archivist Mike Klowitter and their devoted team. They spent untold hours working on this to make it what it is, and I think you're going to be so amazed. It is set to print and is now soon to be available to you as an attractive coffee table conversation piece. It's really going to be a must-have. It will be available to you for a very nominal fee, and announcements of that will be forthcoming. Our faculty and staff have rallied in a monumental way as you embark on a year of giving back to the community. You'll soon be invited to participate in donations that have been designed by our departments in our 100 Ways to Give campaign. Collection boxes will be across the campus, and there will be opportunity to join in the giving each week from our GRCC Today newsletter, as well as from the college's 100-year website. There are some amazing efforts that are being brought forth. I think you'll find it most impressive, and certainly will want to participate to your ability. Our last event of the 100th anniversary will be commencement in May. It will be a memory maker for one and all, as our graduates and all faculty present and past will process at the Van Andel Arena. It will include a prominent speaker of notoriety and is sure to be an event to remember. It has been my privilege today to stand here before you as one who's received such personal joy in the service of education. Whatever your role is here at GRCC, we stand side by side to collectively change lives. I can't think of anything better than that. So thank you very, very much. It's been a privilege to work with you today.
Let me extend my congratulations to our newest recipients of the Excellence in Education Award, Tom and Mary Kay. Congratulations. It's a much-deserved honor. Welcome to the club. I would like to thank those without whose efforts we would not be enjoying this day. I particularly want to thank the members of the Milestones Committee. I truly enjoyed working with all of you on the convocation and the mixer, and I appreciate all the hard work you put into it. In addition to your department meetings or serving students today, there are 2 more events we hope you will attend. First, at 3 o'clock, we'll meet on the south end of the plaza to take an all-employee photo. This will be a great way to commemorate this day and the 100-year celebration. And then this evening from 4 till 7 p.m., we will meet in the ATC for the all-employee mixer as an open house. We'll have hors d'oeuvres and beverages, hopefully some cold ones, and a chance to catch up with your colleagues present and past. Also, the Adjunct Excellence in Education Award will be announced at 5:30. I also want to remind you to please join us immediately following this morning's convocation for a reception on the Dr. Juan R. Olivares Student Plaza. While enjoying the reception, we also invite you to take time to walk through the first floor of the main building to see the final panel in the historical timeline revealed for viewing for the first time today. And also along the way on First Main, you'll see all the department banners on display. As I reflect upon our past and the 100 years and where we are headed, it occurs to me that we may be doing things differently and we may be doing different things, but our focus has been and should always be our students, as you so eloquently heard so many times already today. As we begin our 100th year, let us keep that in mind. And remember, for many of our students, GRCC is the first best hope, and for others, we are the last best hope. Let us help all of them to turn that hope into reality. We have now come to that moment where we can officially open the 100-year celebration. It is hard to believe that it has been over 3 years that teams were formed, meetings took place, and planning began. I wanted to find just the right sentiment to convey my thoughts to you about opening these festivities. At first, I was considering the world of music and borrowing from the Rolling Stones, but Start Me Up didn't sound quite right. I also thought maybe the Black Eyed Peas could help us with their song, Let's Get It Started, but it seemed a little less than formal. Next, I turned to literature. Chaucer called to me, but the only passage I had underlined was The Miller's Tale. I thought about Shakespeare, Midsummer Night's Dream, but I was afraid I'd put too many of you to sleep already. I finally landed on one of my favorite books and one my kids always enjoyed as well. I think Maurice Sendak said it best when he wrote in Where the Wild Things Are, let the wild rumpus start. So it is with great pride and eager anticipation that we hereby announce and declare that this is the official opening of the 100th year of Grand Rapids Junior College, now Grand Rapids Community College. We invite you to join in all the activities, celebrations, and events throughout the year. With that, thanks to everyone for attending this convocation. Please remain seated until the platform officials, special guests, and faculty have recessed. The marshals will usher faculty out row by row.
This convocation ceremony is now concluded.